Hello, everybody. How are you today? Thank you for joining us. Let me give you the time of day and what day it is, and then we'll see if I'm actually functioning audio and visual with you. Terrible grammar. The local time is 11:45. No, it's not. It's 11:48. And we will begin this live stream, this live Q&A in about 12 minutes from now. So, of course, if you're watching live, people are filtering in and we're testing a couple of things. This is a whole new setup that I have here in my office. And if you're watching this as a replay, of course, as always, scrub ahead 11 minutes and I will do something to signify that we're starting. But right now I'm just chatting with folks and making sure that this is actually getting out there. There's plenty of new things to be learning here. So number one, I'm looking over here. I've popped the chat out like a boss on a different monitor. So can I look over here, read your comments? And we are 5x5. Bit cumbersome, but let me look over here and just say hi to a few of you. The picture says great, John. Geneva, 5x5. Camera view and sound are great. Okay, well, hey, this is encouraging. Hello, Shelley in Afraid of Washington. Francis in Abu Rusel. Of course, as soon as we start this, we got people in the hallway. This building has been dead quiet the entire morning, and now, of course, we got people talking. Hang on. It's distracting. Can you hear me? Oh, see now? Oh, that's interesting. So that's a real life bookshelf and all of my goodies. Oh, I get it. Okay. So I spent a portion of the morning trying to figure out how I got this fuzzy setup, and whatever, I guess I can't get rid of the fuzzy setup. I guess this is part of the deal so that the camera stays in focus on the marshmallow. All right, so more hellos. Where are you viewing from? And then I'll take a few moments to just let everybody kind of settle down and figure out what's going on. And again, we'll begin our program in 10 minutes. So this is kind of fun. Hi, Tamara and Patrick, age 8. Patrick, age 8. I got to remember to look up at you, the camera now, not here. I love to look at myself. We know that, but I got to look up here. Patrick, age 8? Okay now. Stands in Oshkosh, Northwoods from Wisconsin. Well, that's a double badger right there in a row. Some people try from Marietta, Georgia. I'm going to miss everybody now. Don's in Los Angeles. Oh boy, going too fast now. What do we got? 220 people. Ronnie from Littleton, Colorado. I always seem to catch your name, Ronnie, for some reason. Matthew's in Connecticut. Travis is in Iowa. BH from Forest Grove, Oregon. Charles is in Box Elder, South Dakota. Oh yeah. Garrett, the Dutch Night Owl. You know what? Well, no. What time is it, Garrett? What time is it in Australia? Julie, what time is it there? I know there's different time zones in Australia. We're going to change our clocks tonight. We're going to fall back an hour, so more coming on that. St. Mary's, Idaho. Hey now. Dale's in Edmonton, Alberta. Meridian, Idaho. John in Spokane. Dan in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Thomas in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. That's a third badger, not that I'm counting, although I think I am. Alan is in Yorba Linda, California. Letha Lee, Mark, Boise, William O. Smith, Texas, Ray, Silverton, Oregon. This is real fun. It's always fun. It's always fun, even though we got this funky, you want to see the, you want to, oh wait now. Now it's not snapping into focus? Why was it in focus last time? Why was it in focus last time? Oh, that did it. Oh, that's cool. I think. uh, I can hear the grumpy old men right now. When's this clown going to get started? Stick to the facts. Stick to the geology. Yeah, we will, buddy. We will. 7 minutes from now. Say hi to a few more folks, and then I will wheel out of the room for a few minutes and tell everybody in the hallway to knock it off, and we will begin. I have a loose plan, which I will reveal at the top of the hour. Who else can I say? So one more time, we're okay? You know, I've played with, so the video looks fine to me, even though there's the weird fuzziness, but, you know, I guess this is on purpose. This is the way it's going to look. If I do more of these from my office, I don't think I will, but in case I do. And audio, so I have the echo cancellation off. I have the stereo audio off. I have the auto adjust mic volume off. So I'm at 130%. Do you hear a difference when I do this? Do you hear a difference when I do this? Do you hear that? Now I'm up to 170. Is that tremendously louder? I'm at 170, and now I'm going to go back to 130. Am I changing anything on your end, audio-wise? 130, no changes. Okay, that must be the output. Okay, how about up here? Let me try the same thing. Am I changing? Oh, no, it's the same thing. I can see it. All right. Well, if you feel like the audio is good, I'm going to talk about it. Is this level, I don't know how to adjust it. I'm not even going to ask. I don't even know how to adjust the audio level. So I guess y'all said 5 by 5, so I guess we're good. God, I'm really going to have a hard time keeping my eyes off myself. I have issues. Okay, right, up there. 5 by 5. Okay. Couple more hellos, and then I will take a walk around the building. And I will be back in 5 minutes. How about that? Yeah, you, snarky user, you have volume control there. That's true. You do. Cindy, hello. Terry, turn my lights brighter to obtain a smaller aperture that will increase the depth. Okay, thank you. Hello, Todd. Geologically speaking. Fiddle bits, no static at all. FM, no static at all. Copy my trademark. Barbara, hello. Pueblo, Colorado. Yeah, a few more from where you're checking in again, if you wouldn't mind, if you've already typed it. Springfield, Illinois. Northeast Iowa. Woodinville, Washington. The audio's reaching Polly in Wisconsin. The Dalles, Oregon. San Diego, California. Tucson, Tacoma, San Jose, California, Issaquah, Washington, Klamath Falls, Oregon. Thurso, Scotland. Hello, Angus. I only know of one Angus in Scotland, and I think he's a geologist. I don't know if that's you or not. Alberta, Gary. What's up, Gary? Nice to visit with you last month. Salzburg, Austria. Hello, Dieter. Now, of course, I'm hunting for the most exotic locations to make me feel even more important than I think I am, which I'm not. Great Falls, Montana, Penticton, BC, Malta, New York, Forest Grove, Oregon, Seattle, Harlan, Iowa, Halifax, Massachusetts, Milton, Freewater, Ritzville, Rheinfeld, Switzerland. What up, homie? Hotel Papa 100. The old band, we're getting the band back together. Parma, Idaho, Oakland, California, Winlock, Washington. Okay, I've got 3 minutes according to my watch. Let me take a little walk. I'll be back. I'm turning my audio off, and I'll turn it back on again. It's probably dangerous, but I'm going to try it anyway. Audio's going off. Good. I was just testing to see if you could hear me without this turned on. Sounds like you could not. And now you can. Correct? You can. Delay in the comments. We're about to begin. We're good now? 5 by 5, one last time, real quick, and then we will begin. Looking for a few 5 by 5s, and if so, it's the top of the hour. 5 by 5. Thank you. Okay, here we go. Thank you, everybody, for joining us today. This is a one-of-a-kind broadcast. I've never done this before. This is a live question and answer session, and that's it. There is no geology presentation for this program. But I think there is value for this session, at least in my mind. And at the same time, in addition to doing some live Q&A with all of you, and it's been 5 months since I've seen you live. So it's nice to be back with you, number one. In addition to that, I want to announce a couple of things. And the third goal of this little session here today, Saturday at noon Pacific time from my office here at CWU, is to test out some new equipment that I have. And seems like we're functional with this setup. And this is, I guess, a default setting now. This is not a green screen. These are real books. That's a real John Stockton autographed basketball, no big deal, etc. But I guess this is Melon, the software that I have called Melon for live streaming. I'm still learning a lot almost every time I sit down with it. But I guess this is for real. In other words, I think this is going to stay. I kind of like it, actually, even though it looks kind of funky. So I want to try a couple of these new things I've learned with Melon as well with this live Q&A session. Okay? That was the introduction. Let us begin. Checking to see if we're still talking. Yeah, okay. The announcement is we're going to start a new live stream series this week. And I've been focused on the technology to learn some new tricks. But once I get that settled, and I'm very close to getting settled with what I want to do, we will begin the live stream. And then my entire focus will be on the geology. The geology of what, you say? Well, I am going to start a new A to Z series. And if that sounds familiar, last fall, about this time, we were doing 2 live stream sessions per week from Ellensburg, and we were focused on the exotic terrains of the Pacific Northwest. It wasn't just the Pacific Northwest, of course. We were going all the way from Alaska down to Mexico at a couple of points. And I like much about what we were doing. I liked the level of discussion. I liked that there were 26 sessions, and they all kind of worked together. In other words, just like letters in the alphabet. There was session A and then session B and so on. And so if you stumbled into the series last fall and you started with session J, I'm guessing you were kind of lost. And you needed to watch A, B, all the way up till J to make sense of what we were doing. And I liked that format. And I thought that it was those shows worked together. So I'd like to do that format again. But this time, instead of the exotic terrains, I'd like to focus on a period of time called the Eocene. And so I'm going to call this one the Eocene A to Z live streams, or maybe call it the Crazy Eocene, to rip off a title from one of the chapters in the Marley Miller and Darrell Cowan Roadside Geology of Washington book, 2nd edition. I might just rip that off from them. I like that title. So I don't have any idea how I'm going to operate. I'm going to just work on the sessions as they come. And that was on purpose the plan last time as well. I didn't have a master plan. I was just kind of going letter to letter, basically. And I also am not announcing exactly when we're starting this week because I still have a few things to work out here at school. I'm confident I'm working out of school this time. I wanted to do it from home and Bijou the cat and all that, but the internet speed is just not up to it. So I'm sure that we're going to be doing these Eocene A to Z series starting this week from school here. I'm leaning towards one room, but I'm not sure yet, so I don't want to announce it, and therefore I can't say what day and what time because the classrooms are being used. School is in session. We're in the middle of fall quarter. We have a big midterm coming up in Geology 101 this Tuesday, for instance. I think I'm certain enough that I'm going to announce one of the days. It's going to be Saturday morning. One of these two sessions is going to be Saturday morning. And it's going to be Saturday morning for a couple of reasons. I like to do these and then go off and take a walk outside or something. In other words, I don't want to wait the whole day to do this thing because it's just the way that I operate. So I know that I want to do it Saturday morning, and I also know that this building is pretty quiet on Saturday morning. I just experienced total quiet, nobody in the building the entire morning. But I think I come to you right away since you're live with us. And of course, I'm not going to please everybody. But knowing that I'm going to do one of these Eocene sessions live every Saturday morning throughout this entire winter, what time is best for you? Why even ask? But I could start as early as 9 a.m., 10 a.m., or 11 a.m. Does it matter to you? I guess those are my choices. 9 a.m., 10 a.m., or 11 a.m. And I'll just pause and see just if we're communicating, first of all. Yes, my thought is that it would work for Europe and time zones over on that side of the planet. I know it's a bummer for those on the other side of the Pacific. Some say 9, some say 10, some say 11. Okay, well... And by the way, I've done a couple testing videos this week, and it's just been a small subset of you, and I've taken the videos down pretty quickly after I do it, but I get real-time feedback from some. And I remember one comment from somebody, they're like, look, have you watched these prior live stream sessions? There's only 1,000 people watching you live, Like there's 10,000 that watch in replay, so why does it even matter? And it was an interesting point. I hadn't thought about it that way, but you're right. Like most everybody doesn't watch it live. Most of the viewers of these live streams catch them after the fact anyway. So does it really matter? Well, I guess it does because I think there's a certain charm and there's a certain payoff to have a certain audience with us live, especially for the live Q&A. So I do want to make it available to as many as possible, but I certainly realize people are busy Saturday mornings, or if you're in Australia, you're sleeping Saturday mornings here, etc. Okay, so I'll look at those. I'll watch the replay of this and I'll see what you all vote for, but of course I won't please everybody. The other session, so it's going to be Saturday morning. Actually, I'm not sure if this Saturday will be A or if this Saturday will, in other words, a week from this morning, I don't know if that's going to be A or B. I might be ready to roll middle of the week. But plan on Saturday. I'll have some sort of announcement video in the next few days, I think. Maybe Monday or Tuesday I'll post some kind of announcement video when I finally decide the 2 days of the week. But I think I am committed, even though I like mornings. Should I even say this? I'm thinking maybe for folks in other time zones, I might do an afternoon one in the middle of the week, whatever that happens to be. That might be a nice mix. Middle of the week, 2 or 3 in the afternoon, Pacific time, Saturday mornings each week. I don't know. I'm not sure of that. Okay, so that's the quote-unquote announcement, even though it's not a formal announcement yet. That's part of the reason I'm checking in with you, because we're just trying to get this thing back and running. And it will not be in my office here. You won't be looking at the fuzzy basketball the entire winter. I'm going to be in a classroom for sure. Okay. This is a live Q&A session, so let's go to that. I'm happy to answer any question, but my general thought is that we review 5 months worth of videos that I have been filming in the field, and I'm happy especially to answer questions about those videos, assuming you've seen them. Assume you've seen a couple of them. If you haven't seen any of them, then this whole thing's dumb, I guess. But here's a big moment. I'm going to share the screen. And you're like, come on, we've all been in a pandemic for a year and a half. You don't know how to share a screen yet? Well, this is Mellon. This is different. This is different. All right. Drum roll, please. Show on the stream. Oh ho. Okay. And he goes to his browser. And this is me scrolling around on the browser. Are we functional, first of all? Woohoo! Look at me. Like, what a moron. It's not that hard. Okay. So I think my plan right now is to very quickly scroll through these videos just to remind you of what we might be talking about, and then I'll go directly to the live chat and just start answering questions. So there's a lot of them. I'm not going to go through every one, but let me first of all just kind of scroll. So this is the most recent one that I posted. These are all Nick from the Field videos that I've done over the last 5 months. I've had a blast posting them. So I'll do it real quick like this. I'll go backwards. So Tannum Ridge, I was out hiking with Liz. Went up Nanum Canyon north of Ellensburg with Andrew Sadowski, who has an office down the hall from me. This is a personal favorite. I crashed a GSA field trip and visited with Richard Waite, Brian Atwater, Vic Baker, Jim O'Connor, Bruce Bjornstad out in the field. Erin Donaghy, that's at the GSA meeting in Portland. She was featured, and we will be talking a lot about Eocene Erin this winter. Okay, and I can't get, here I go. So Chelsea makes maps for the roadside geology books. Interviewed her at GSA Portland. Uh-oh, pop-up geology. Yes, I've done 4 of these pop-up events where I met with people in the flesh at selected locations. Hiking with Liz up on Long Pass. I got up to British Columbia. Jerome Lessman is known to some of you. So there's one Jerome Lessman field lecture basically to his students, and I was just kind of a fly on the wall. Another Jerome, and another Jerome. There's 4 Jerome Lessman videos there that I thought were great. I don't know how you feel. You might have questions about that. I'm just priming the pump now, okay? Just priming your pump about what you might want to ask about. Another pop-up event, another hiking video with Liz, Green Rocks north of Ellensburg. I spent a couple days driving the North Cascades Highway, this looking at a bunch of Skagit gneiss, this being up at Washington Pass. It's snowing like crazy up on Washington Pass right now this morning. I did a road trip to Idaho, and on the way back I filmed at Missoula, Montana, at the Lemhi Range looking at Precambrian mud cracks and ripple marks. Looking at Mississippian limestone, I think it was, in central Idaho. Visited my old field mapping area north of the Snake River Plain. Went to Craters of the Moon. And so there's 5 of these from Idaho. I was also near Sun Valley. All right, am I really going to go through every one? Yeah, we're almost there. So a couple from the Teanaway area north of Ellensburg. A blue agate video featuring Carl Carlson, who's a blue agate expert. Vacation, quote unquote, went with Liz and met with another couple, friend of ours from Northern California. We met in Central Oregon and filmed at Newberry Volcano, both Lava Butte and the Big Obsidian Flow. Randy Lewis. Went out with Randy Lewis once at Stimmelt Spires. One long day with Randy that was one of the highlights of the entire summer. Broke that full day of Randy into 4 parts. There was so much that he shared. The Dream Team in northern Washington hooked up with those guys for the first time in the field. Mike Eddy, Stacia Gordon, and Bob Miller. We'll be talking about them. So filmed them both on the trail, collecting rocks, and also at the campground. Working back. Lodgestick Bluff, that was an interesting show, I think. Getting drone footage. Jason from Wenatchee flying a drone, and me filming him flying a drone at Dave Bishop's place. Green Rocks. Aaron and Mike Eddy and Ralph Hagerud up in the Chumstick. Another hiking thing with Liz. Apparently I like her. West, that was the first pop-up. That was the first experiment with the pop-up geology thing. I announced I would meet people at 8 o'clock in the morning out in the middle of God knows where, south of Wenatchee, north of Vantage, and there were like 75 people there at 8 in the morning, and they had driven a long way to get there. That was excitement. All those pop-up things have been fun, but that was a real shocker to have that many people at that hour. It was so early because that was during the real hot weather. Liz, Green Rocks, we're almost done. Sky Cooley, Clastic Dikes, down by Walla Walla. That was a fun one. This is a personal favorite, spending a morning with Brian Atwater and filming pretty much the entire thing. And I think I started these, yes, I started these at the beginning of the summer, 2 of them with Tom Alexander, who worked at the gold deposits in Wenatchee. Okay, so it's like I'm trying to sell you something. I'm not trying to sell you anything. I'm just trying to prime the pump because I'm guessing that you would want to ask some questions live, and I'll just try to be as rapid fire as I can with this. This is the meat of what we're doing for the next, I don't know, 20, 25 minutes. And then if we get into off-the-wall questions, I guess we can go there too. So as always, can you please uppercase if it's a question about any of those videos. And I'll try to pick the ones that, I think to start, I'll try to pick the ones that are actually tied to those videos. Eric, how is Randy doing? So if you've been a fan of Randy, and I think we all are, if we see him on camera, his whole mantra was, I want to go out and film with you and record these stories. And I know he's talking to me now. I know you have a big audience. And so just the more people, the better to hear these stories and to have a respect for my ancestors. And he openly would say, I want to do this before I am gone. Well, I won't go overboard with this, but Randy had a big stroke in late September. And he was in the hospital for weeks. I don't know how many weeks, but a considerable amount of time, and was in a rehab facility. And he is doing much better than he was. I think I saw his brother Ernie post somewhere that he's about 80, Randy is about 85% strong. Still has a little ways to go. I did talk to him on the phone, and he sounds like the same old Randy. So that was a big relief to me to hear him, but we know that strokes are a big deal. So we're continuing to pray for Randy and hope for a full recovery if that's at all possible. And so that's my update on Randy, and we're all wishing warm things to him and his family. Scroll back now and looking for, thank you for asking about Randy. Patrick, age 8. Hey man, yeah man, Patrick, age 8. Who is one of your favorite geologists to visit with? Who do you learn the most from? Patrick, thanks for the question. I do enjoy visiting with pretty much everybody. And without being too over the top about it, I like to work with a variety of geologists, shall we say. Geologists have different looks, have different ages, have different backgrounds, and I try to mix it up that way. Excuse me, that way. So my short answer, it was a thrill to be out with Brian Atwater, who is a big deal, and I think that's why his video was so popular. People know the name Brian Atwater, and that video has been very, very popular because it's Brian Atwater. but it was also a very intimate style. So I would pick that as being a personal thrill for me, Patrick. But the list is long because pretty much everybody that I talked about who's a geologist, who I spent time with, even if they're not a geologist, who I spent time with, I learned an incredible amount, and it was real fun. And most everybody is up for me turning on my little iPhone, Patrick, and recording them at this point, which is, you know, a few people say, I'm not doing that. What do you, huh? What? I thought we were just going to go out and visit. You're going to turn a camera on and you're going to put a microphone on me? By now, most everybody is familiar that that's what I like to do, and it works well. Mount Savannah, where is the east side of the Straight Creek Fault south of Cochise Lake? Good question. So the video was going to Cochise Lake and looking at evidence that the Straight Creek Fault runs right down the middle of Cochise Lake. And so therefore the bedrock on both sides of the lake do not match, and they're offset by 60 miles or more. It's a major mystery today how to follow that Straight Creek Fault south. I'm hesitating because I do remember a few geologists recently pretty excitedly saying that the rimrock inlier exotic terrains are now a very good match for the western Melange Belt exotic terrain. Huh? Well, that's going back to the exotic terrain A to Z series last fall. And I have to do my homework and watch some of those again, because I don't think I'm just going to start with session A totally in the Eocene. I think I am going to go back and try to synthesize or somehow summarize some of the exotic terrain stuff. And so if you like rimrock and West Melange Belt being the same material, then maybe that's a vote for having the Straight Creek Fault come straight south from Easton. But there's not much exposure, so you can pretty much stick with what you like. Let's keep it moving. Thank you. Did the Cascades rise at once or north to south? No way to tell that, Gene. Thanks for the question. We can't even decide when the Cascades started to rise, let alone if there was more action early in the south or the north. I don't think we have any way to figure that out. What conditions allowed the Oregon obsidian flow? Basically, why do we have a bunch of obsidian at Newberry Volcano? I'm still working on that one too. So I wish I could, sometimes I'll post a video and I'll get a bunch of emails. By the way, I'm still overwhelmed with emails. Just want to get that out there. If you've emailed me and had a bunch of really good, juicy detail and you didn't hear back from me, I'm sorry. You've heard it from me before. I'm getting too many emails. I'm getting too many phone calls, people leaving voicemails. Sometimes a second email or a third email from the same person or the same third voicemail. Why aren't you answering my emails? So sometimes I post a video and I hear from geologists or I hear from somebody who knows some detail, and it helps answer a question I have in the video. In the case of the obsidian, I'm not any further along than I was in the video where I was just asking a bunch of questions. And it's not on the short list for me. Sorry. What's a Mima Mound? There's a whole session, Taylor, called the Mima Mounds from live stream. If you just go to YouTube and type in Mima Mounds, Nick from home, that's the best answer I have. You're going to have to devote an hour to watch the thing, but that's the best way to do it. I can't do it quickly here. Can I give an overview of the conflicts in the Ice Age floods theories? I'll do it shortly because it ties to some of the videos that I was posting this summer. Can I do it quickly? I have a suspicion, and what do I know? But I have a suspicion that there was tremendous amount of water crossing the border from Canada, coming down through the Okanagan Valley, and creating many of the deposits that we have here in north central Washington. And only a few Canadian geologists have built a case in the scientific literature for that. And generally, the American Ice Age floods geologists are all looking to Montana exclusively for the water source. So to me, that's the most interesting disconnect. I'm not even sure it's a conflict. It's just like both sides are kind of ignoring each other, or at least the Americans are ignoring the Canadian stuff. And I rarely have influence on these sorts of things, but there's a chance that if I keep doing things with Jerome Lessman and Sky Cooley, there might be at least more general attention devoted to the Okanagan to see if that really is a new place. Let me keep moving. I'm going to come down to live and then I'll skip around again. Again, upper case for your questions. I'll just try to keep moving quickly if I can. Wanting to know how serpentinite gets exposed, uplift or tilting. Is it glue to gabbro? Thank you, Matt. We did talk about the serpentinite a fair amount in the exotic series. I suppose we'll bring it up again. It clearly has been uplifted in response to mountain building lifting or mountain building formation with the Cascades, let's say. And yet there's also the clockwise rotation that's driving the uplift of ridges. So I would focus on exposure of those serpentinites being due to a quote-unquote recent uplift in the last, let's say, 15 million years. But I can't give you more than that. And if you're really asking why do we have stuff on the ocean floor that's out of the ocean and onto a continent, that's also very difficult to answer. There's something called suprasubduction or abduction, which are vague ideas to me, and I don't know if there'll be a payoff to get back into that with this new alphabet series. Keep the questions coming. This is fun. It's always fun. It's always energizing. Will I ever discuss the Wallowa Mountains? Yeah, probably, but not this winter. As I understand it, the Wallowa Mountains, the formation or the uplift of the Wallowas is a pretty young story. Younger than 15 million years old, maybe younger than 3 million years. I agree it's a very interesting area, and the development of Hell's Canyon and the path of the Snake River and things like that, that's on my list for down the road, but not this winter. So the answer is yes, but not in the next few months. Thank you. Still live right now. Will the new A to Z series cover any of the Rocky Mountains? I think so. Yeah. I don't really know. Well, I'll explain this in session A once we get going, but my loose thoughts before I put real considerable thought into it is I want to focus on the Eocene in the North Cascades. That's my main focus for reasons I've discussed before. But to really understand some of the Eocene plutons and faulting, we need to go wider in the Northwest to put the North Cascades in perspective. And to put the Pacific Northwest in perspective, we need to go wider yet. And that gets us to the Rockies pretty quickly. So I was taught Rocky Mountain geology 35 years ago, and I haven't learned a thing about the Rocky Mountains since. And it's time for an update for me, and I think this winter is a time to do it. Will it just be one session on the Laramide orogeny? Will it be a whole series of them? I'm not sure, but I think that has to be included in an Eocene series. So at least, yeah, so the answer is yes. I can't say anything yes or no, apparently. I'm full of words here. Will I be featuring the Squawk Swamp and the PETM? You bet. That's Eocene. What do you know about the origin of the Simcoe volcanic field and the creation of Haystack Butte? Next to nothing. That's from the pop-up down at Maryhill, Stonehenge. I think that's what you're referring to, Geneva. Also on my list. I don't know. Are these major things on my list, quote unquote? Are they each a alphabet series down the road? Maybe. If this next alphabet series, A to Z, with a theme and with a topic, works as well as I think the exotic thing worked, And I think it worked mostly for me. Like I learned an incredible amount, and it felt like I was still talking to people by session Y and Z, whether it was over your head or not. I felt like we were had enough weird props and everything that it kind of worked. If the Eocene thing that we're starting this week is going to be a similar quote unquote success, why wouldn't I keep going with that format? And so one might be a Miocene A to Z, one might be an Ice Age floods A to Z, one might be a Cascades volcano thing, and that's where the Simcoes and the haystack stuff would come in. There's no shortage. There's no shortage. But I'm currently thinking that summers are good for this field stuff and this pop-up stuff, I guess. That's my current thought. And then, tomorrow night it's going to be dark at 5 o'clock. Dark from 5 o'clock at our latitude and our longitude until 8 o'clock the next morning. The days are short. And you're like, oh, boo-hoo, how about you come up the Yukon if you think you got it so dark? I understand. I understand. But I'm just saying that I can't be filming a bunch of stuff in the field in December. I could, but I'd rather be kind of hibernating and doing this with you. I know that you've typed a bunch of really great questions and I haven't seen them yet. I apologize. Let me keep going back. 12:30. Okay. David, do I plan to stream this academic year's Geology 351? No, because I'm not teaching 351 this spring. So I taught Geology 351 last spring. I live streamed the class from the lecture hall, and that was Eocene content. And I'm going to be using a bunch of the stuff that I learned from 351, and I'm going to repackage it in this new alphabet series. And I'm not live streaming the 101 that I'm doing right now because those lectures are identical pretty much to what I did last winter that some of you saw. But the next time I teach 351, yes, unless somebody shuts me down, I'm planning on doing 351 again with the live stream. But that will be a year from this spring, spring of 23. Is that right? Yeah. So I'm not teaching 351 next spring. Does that mean I'm doing more stuff out in the field with all of you? Yeah, maybe. I'm not sure what spring holds, but I'm not teaching 101 or 351 next spring. Hi, Grand Forks. Love you too. More specific questions about the videos. I don't know if I'm too rigid here, but these are all kind of general geology questions. How old is the Snoqualmie Pass batholith, Michael? I think it's like 22 million years old, something like that. How about telling us ahead of time what A will be? Probably just setting the goals for the thing. Like the session A of the exotic terrain series was just like talking about the time window and the goals for the series. I'll probably do the same. And you're like, no, I want detail. Give me facts. I'm not going to tune in unless you teach me some facts. Well, I'm a teacher, I got to set things up. I got to couch things properly so that we understand what we're trying to do and what we're not trying to do. So it'll be more of a kind of a goal-setting session A, but I haven't thought much about it yet. Scrolling back. I'm scrolling way back. Looking for questions about the videos. I don't know why I'm insisting on that. Where can I legally collect plant fossils in Oregon? Beats me. I'm sorry. Hopefully somebody from Oregon can help you with that. I think any national forest land you can collect, can't you? There's maybe some rule buried in some bylaw somewhere, but if you go collect a few plant fossils somewhere, palm fronds or something, you're going to be thrown in jail? I don't know. More pop-ups during the winter? No, I don't think so, unless it turns 60 degrees or something. I have a one-track mind, so once I get this Eocene A to Z series started, I'm going to be just doing nothing but that. I just can't I do enough kind of juggling between my day job, you know, working with students, advising them, registering for next quarter, landing a job, all that kind of stuff, and then this with you, which I thoroughly enjoy. But I, you know, it's just easier for me to just put the field stuff away for the winter, including Gizmo. Yeah, I could do a whole nother A to Z series on earthquake stuff, I suppose. But it doesn't feel like there's a lot of new earthquake research happening. I may be out of it, but the real excitement for huge leap forwards in earthquake understanding here in the Pacific Northwest were generally 20, 30 years ago. But that's also probably on my list. Todd, what are the top 3 hikes to do in central Washington, in your opinion? Well, I can't say I'm the best to answer that question. Many have hiked way more trails than I have. But from the trails that I've hiked and that Liz and I enjoyed together, I mean, there's a reason I filmed those, because they're beautiful. So I can just refer to those, the Bean Peak or the Longs Pass or the, another one, what was it? Iron Peak. So in the Teanaway, those are favorites of mine. When the weather becomes not very good, Liz and I typically go east into the channeled scablands where there's not as much snow, maybe no snow. And so that's kind of nice country for us in the late fall, early winter, early spring. But I don't think I have specific hikes for you. I guess my general plan is out in the channeled scablands. There's typically no trails. Drumheller Channels is a favorite place to hike, Todd. And there's not one trail in the whole place. You just wander. It's a wildlife refuge. It's great. It's closed right now, but wonderful place. That's where the Tootsie Rolls are. I will tell Randy hi from all of you, and I'll wish him well. I don't know about the rainbow effect in flows of obsidian, sorry. Could I discuss the origins of magma? Well, Patty, you know, magmas don't form everywhere. There is kind of a pattern to where we find magmas forming. They form where we have a subducting ocean plate. Magmas also form where we have 2 plates spreading away from each other. Magmas form when we have mantle plumes coming to the surface. Those are the 3 general ways that you generate magmas. It's very difficult to come up with a magma without one of those 3 choices. Maybe that's what you were looking for there. I'm back a ways, but now I'm scrolling. More Andrew Sadowski, please. That question from Andrew Sadowski. No, I'm just kidding. That's from Robert. Thank you. I'll tell Andrew that. I've done 2 with Andrew. One, we were up looking for some rhyolite in the Teanaway, and the most recent one up the Nanum. He's a busy guy, but occasionally he'll say, hey, you know, I got a day that I can spend with you. Do you want to come up? And I always learn an incredible amount. I think I just spit on my monitor. I'd like to apologize for spitting at you. Sunheit. Maybe you're watching right now. How many we got? 600 are watching right now live, and somebody's going, when's this guy going to start? This is it today. Live Q&A. I'm going to give up on the fishing for questions about the field video, so we'll just keep rolling with what you want to do. I'm going to go all the way down to live. What the hell? Mr. Tom, is anyone working on the owl? Not really. The owl is a total mystery. The owl is an abbreviation for the Olympic Wallowa lineament. And it's a northwest-southeast trend that goes from Port Angeles, over Snoqualmie Pass, through this office, down to Tri-Cities, and to the Wallowa Mountains. I think, what was his name? somebody for the USGS, can't remember his name, had some new work on it and was convinced it was kind of a major strike slip fault. And then another guy like Steve Rydell says there's a feeder dike that cuts right across the owl. There's no offset on it at all, so you're high. The thing's not a strike slip fault. So I just ignore the owl until somebody bright with a new approach can understand the significance of it. A video or 10 with Vic Camp would be great. Thank you, Mark. Vic Camp has had a long career at San Diego State University. He has done tremendous amounts of work up here in the Pacific Northwest. I visited with Vic briefly at the geology meeting in Portland last month. He's always a pleasant person to talk with, what's the right word there? Thanks for your suggestion. This melon thing, I can invite guests. And just like I can do this, here's a little diversion for if you're getting bored. So, you know, look, no big deal now. What's that? That's right. Okay. I can not only do that, I can talk to another person. Oh, what does that yellow mean? Can I do that? Oh. Double click. What I'm doing. Am I still here? All right, stop that. I've already lost what I'm doing. The point is, I don't know if I will do it with the A to Z series this winter. Pausing here, do I really want to say this? Why couldn't I invite Vic Camp to join us during one of the live streams? Or during the Q&A? There's a bunch of questions for Mike Eddy, and then I'm like, here's Mike Eddy. And then he shows up live with us and we talk to him and he answers questions. That's one of the perks of this new setup that I'm still trying to get comfortable with. But there is a chance that I could have a bunch of these geologists with us somehow. Not just in the live chat, but split screen with them. So thanks for the suggestion about involving Vic, but my God, there's 100 geologists that we're going to be talking about. Hell, we could have half of them with us. Maybe I'm just dreaming. Would love to get an A to Z on the origin of the John Day fossil beds. Thank you, Mattify. I don't know if I have 26 shows on the John Day fossil beds, but, pretty much anything you could work up 26 sessions, but I know squat about John Day. It'll be, I don't know. I don't even know. Will that be tossed into the Eocene? The Clarno beds or something are Eocene, Chalice magmas. Lubo in China. Are you really in China? Okay, here's another little aside. Well, I'll answer your question first. Would I ever consider a live debate with a young Earth creationist to destroy them live? What do you think about their nonsense? Well, I wouldn't have the tone that you have with your question, first of all. Respect goes a long way, even if respect's not coming to you from the other side. But I'm not the guy to do that. I think many of you have seen enough of me to know that I'm a slow thinker. I'm not just being modest now. I'm a slow thinker. And once I get something right up here, it's in there and I feel pretty good about it. But it takes me a while. And I have to process it my own way to have it work for this noggin. And much of how I teach is just basically after I've done this kind of juggling for myself, and then I present it hopefully in a logical way. My point is, I'm terrible at debate. I'm the worst. My wife is very smart and very quick. And before I know it, I'm cornered in the kitchen. I'm like, what? Huh? I'm doing what? What did I say? And she's not alone. So people can pummel me verbally, mentally, in real time. And I know that about myself. If I'm in a room with somebody who's in the middle of a huge debate and then they go, Nick, what do you think? I'm like, what? I don't speak your language. So no, I'm not the person to do that. Now, are you really in China? Let me go down to live. I'm curious. This is just stream of conscious now on my part. These shows are popular in North America. Great, makes sense. These shows are pretty popular in certain countries. Many of you are coming regularly, whether you're locked down or not. Maybe it's all just a result of the lockdown, but you know, United Kingdom, Eastern Europe, that sort of thing. A little bit of Africa on occasion. Aren't there incredible numbers of people in Southeast Asia, in Japan? Why are they not part of this? And this is my naivete. I guess if you're in China, you can't watch YouTube? I don't know. Like, I'll be curious to hear what, I don't want to get into politics and everything, but I'm just, is there something about what we're doing or me, or is it a language thing or what? Well, why don't we have tons of viewers from Asia? I'm just curious. I know we have occasional people from Japan or Santosh was it India or Nepal or something? But you know, it just seems like a portion, it's maybe just simply a time zone thing. It just doesn't, everybody's sleeping. What do you expect? So, I'm not getting greedy, I'm just wondering. Oh, I don't know. How are we doing here? Is this working? Is this worth your time? I don't know. What advice would I give to teachers to be engaging like you? Thank you, Morning Bun. Thanks for the compliment. I'm not afraid to be goofy. I'm not afraid to look dumb. I'm not afraid to be unrehearsed and off the cuff and spontaneous. That's maybe a surprising answer to you, but I think that's part of why people feel a connection. They're dealing with a real person in real time, dealing with, do you all smell that? What is that? You're interacting in a real space with real people, and even though this is virtual, it's maybe the same sort of thing. And I feel comfortable doing that because I have a lot of experience, and I'm not searching for who I am or what my role is. I know who I am. I know what I can do, teaching-wise. And most of what I do is a direct result of watching my parents. They were both lifelong teachers. My dad taught high school biology for a long time. My mom taught physical education. She was a gym teacher at an elementary school. And they were both coaches. And so growing up, we'd go to the grocery store and it would take a long time to get back to the car because both of my parents were very popular people and they gave everybody all sorts of attention, and there was all this engagement, as you say. So if you like my style, it's just because I watched my parents and how they operated and conducted their lives. And I'm a direct product of them. I never thought I would teach, but what I'm trying to say is it's not a methodology. It's not, I never had an education class, so it's not like I have to go through a certain training education-wise to do this. You just have to be a good listener, have to be a good spontaneous person and give people attention and be willing to be playful and also have good information at the same time. That's my best answer. Thanks. Clockwise rotation, still happening, Kent. You bet. We just talked about it in 101 yesterday. The GPS receivers are up on the 3rd floor. They're still getting data every half a second. Lubo in China. Okay, thank you. I've missed if you're really in China, but you say usually it's because of the time difference and lack of interest in geology. No teachers to spark interest. Many primary schools let kids do their math homework during science class. Are you really in China? Now I'm curious. Time difference, lack of interest in geology. Oh, there's a lack of interest in geology worldwide, I think, right? I don't know, but at least in the U.S. I'm just curious if you're really reporting from China. I'll watch the replay. Oh, let's keep it going a few more minutes. It's 10 minutes to 1. Let's go another 10 minutes, and then maybe we'll just cut this off. We still have 600 people watching. They are in China. Okay, southern China has huge geological history. Oh, I'm really interested now. Okay. So, I'm sorry. This is me now asking you questions, I guess. It's live Q&A. I guess that works for us too, right? Can go the other way. I think at some point I shared with you that I was becoming friends or whatever on Instagram with some young ladies. Hold it, that doesn't sound right. Geology students in Algeria. I think it was Algeria. And I was chatting with them a little bit. Or maybe even joined them on an Instagram live thing or something, which was super bizarre but really fun. And I said, how come you guys don't watch the YouTube channel if you're so into this stuff? And they said, we can't. I think it was Algeria. Maybe it wasn't. Maybe it was Saudi Arabia or something. But are there countries where you just can't watch YouTube? Like you're blocked from... I should know this, but I don't. So I'm not trying to expand or whatever. I'm just naturally curious. I just noticed my name doesn't have an R on the end of it. Why is that? Okay. Oh, Iran. Yeah, maybe it was Iran. Thanks. All right. Scrolling back, it's evolving into a clown show now. If you didn't join us at the beginning, I will wrap this up soon, and I will make the same announcements I made at the beginning, in case you're confused about what we're doing here. This is just a live Q&A session. Now I'm just randomly scrolling, looking for uppercase, and answering more questions. A question about the Lemmi supergroup. Does water leave those wavy lines in the rock? Yeah, Travis. That's a video that I was following. I was driving home from Pocatello, Idaho in early September. I decided to take the scenic route home and drive north from Pocatello across the Snake River Plain up to the towns of Chalice and Salmon, and I hadn't been up there in a long time. And I was following the brand new Roadside Geology of Idaho book, Maps by Chelsea, who I interviewed at Portland. People waving now out the window. And I was showing those ripple marks in the Precambrian shale. And it is almost hard to believe, isn't it, that the Precambrian rocks that are 1 billion years old still have these preserved tiny little ripple marks from oscillations of water in a tidal zone. But that's the interpretation. The answer is yes. More people now in the building. What does it all mean? It's 1 o'clock on a Saturday? Why? John, have I ever thought about a Long Valley lecture? Sure, I love the Long Valley area in Eastern California. Some of you remember that I taught a field course out of Bishop, California for 20 years, 20 Septembers in a row. So I know that area very well, and it is a special place. Not anytime soon, but if I can find some new work on the Long Valley caldera and understand why it's there, does anybody know why that supervolcano is there and why it exploded when it did? It's unknown to me. Michael, green rocks in the upper Green River headwaters, old ocean plate? I don't know the Green River area very well. That's over by Seattle for you distant viewers. I think that's the Green River you're talking about. I don't think there's serpentinite over there, but there might be. If it is serpentinite, then sure. Oh, Snarky User says, currently YouTube blocked China, Iran, Turkmenistan, South Sudan, Tajikistan, Syria, North Korea, Eritrea. Thanks. I didn't know that. So, what's my favorite flavor of ice cream? Oh, it's maybe time to wrap it up. Let's do a few more. Mark, will the Eocene A to Z, with the Eocene A to Z, will the papers from 351 still available? That's interesting. Let's share the screen if I can. Sure, I can. Let's go. Can you see my whole? Oh, they're doing college tours now. That's what's going on out in the hallway. Part of the spiel. Hang on. Distracted by the tour guide now. Okay, so this is what my web page looks like. This is not YouTube now. This is called nickzentner.com. I don't know if you've ever been here. It's just another way to look at all these videos. So you click on the podcast. These are audio episodes. It's one way to listen to the podcast without using an iPhone or a smartphone. Here's Maria taking me up in a helicopter. But I'm distracted. Oh, yeah. So I forget who you were. Sorry. But, yeah, I have... Can you see this? Yeah. I have Geology 101 right here. And this is the current quarter. It's an old page, but it still works. So here's the big midterm, dun, 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 on Tuesday. But you can get the yellow book if you're familiar with 101. The whole yellow book is here from winter quarter. By the way, somebody really nice went into the bookstore. I got to get on screen for this. Whoever you were, whoever you are, right before the fall quarter began, just 2 months ago, I think you came from Seattle, you went into the bookstore and I'm going to start crying now, you bought 70 yellow books for all the students. So it was time for them to go over, the 101 students, the freshmen, it was time to go over to the bookstore to get their yellow book. They were all paid for. So whoever you are, thank you. Okay, stop. Good, okay. So I'm getting to your question, sir, about 351, because that's 101, but I also have everything that we did in 351. So, you know, there's nothing happening with 351, but here's all these papers that we went through in Geology 351. And you're like, I don't know what you're talking about. Well, there's a bunch of live streams called Geology 351 where I'm talking to students, like 20 students spread out in this entire lecture hall with masks on, of course. And I have my stylish little bandana, which has since been outlawed. And these papers are still all here. And I guess I'll keep them here, or I don't know, maybe should I make a separate, I'm not sure, but oh, that's an interesting thought. So thanks for that. Maybe, interesting. Maybe the Eocene A to Z series that we're going to be starting this week, that's how we'll finish. We're going to finish. Maybe the A to Z series that we're about to start this week will be a combination, a hybrid of the exotic alphabet series last fall combined with the Geology 351 that I was broadcasting live from the lecture hall, including looking at detailed scientific papers that were available for everyone to read. Thank you for that. I hadn't thought of that, but maybe that's the way it should be done. And then a bonus of having a couple of geologists with us live on the screen. But that's maybe being too ambitious. Not sure. Starting to rain, cold rain. Snow up at Snoqualmie Pass. So that's how we will finish. I am saying thank you for joining us today. To repeat the announcement that I started with, this was a live Q&A session. I didn't get to all the questions. I apologize for that, but it was nice communicating with you live. And I hope you enjoy watching this in replay if you choose to do so. But my announcement at the beginning of the video today is that a brand new series of live streams is starting this week. I'm not sure exactly which day, but starting this week. So please look for an announcement on this YouTube channel for the formal days and time of day that we will be doing 2 live streams per week on the Eocene, which will be a very similar format to what we were doing last fall with the exotic terrains A to Z. I think I want to test a couple more things quickly, but I don't want to waste anybody else's time. So I'm just going to say thank you, I love you, and goodbye. Thank you for joining us for this live session from my office here at Central Washington University. And I hope to see you soon with I hope to see you soon with the Eocene A to Z live streams. Goodbye from Ellensburg, Washington. Okay, now, if you're still here, I want to, since I got you here, I want to test a couple things. I want to play one of these videos and see if you have an echo or not. Like, is it possible for me to keep talking to you and for you to hear a video? Or even just see a video. Let's start with just seeing a video. So I'm sure the numbers will drop about who's with us. Actually, Nick meant, why not Japanese geologists? Oh, okay. Bye from Ireland. Okay, great. Okay, so let me. You certainly don't need to be here for this part, but I just want to try this. Oh, so that's live. I can't play that, can I? Oh, let me try that in a second. That'd be fun. Let me play Jerome here. Okay, so
many of these are these volcanics preserve strata really well.
So what are you dealing with right now?
A couple of big boulders.
Can you hear me and Jerome at the same time?
Is this that's a vein? These are veins in the gneiss or in the. Unlike what we saw, well, in Nanaimo we saw when the basalt is dry.
No echo. Yes. Oh, you can hear both.
It doesn't produce particularly good striations on
Let me mute Jerome. So now you can hear me, just like you did before. Oh, very faint, Jerome. Okay. Well, let me crank Jerome quick. This is. Oh, wait a minute now. I still don't know what these audio volume bars control if they don't change me. So let me try to crank Jerome here.
So here we might be able to.
This is classic glacial till from your experience here in BC.
How do I?
It's loose, it's unconsolidated, it's not welded together, it's not like a diamect where you're having to just work hard to get anything out of.
I think it is.
That's a faint video. Let me try one other that's nice. Randy's nice and loud.
You're trained to, since childhood, your parents, they won't let you believe or talk to you.
Can you hear Jerome nice and quiet, nice and loud?
Because that's just make-believe. In our world, that's very real.
Booming voice of Jerome.
You encourage it.
Randy.
Because that's the eyes of truth.
Is that good? Truck going
The
by?
child sees with pure eyes, unadulterated,
Good.
unjaded.
Randy's a magical guy, man. Come on now. I got goosebumps just listening to him. Okay, that's one thing I wanted to try. Thanks for that. Truck's even louder, yeah. Who wants to join me here? Who wants to join this thing right now? I want to see how to, I want to try to, I have to send you an email. And I'm going to send you a link to join us, and then we'll see if this works. I tried this once with Kathy from Australia, and the audio was too low on her end, I think, but maybe it was me. Oh, Kathy, you want to try it again? You have more volume this time? Is it the middle of the morning? Or can you talk loudly now, Kathy? Let me get to my email. I think I only know how to do this by email. Kathy said, me, yeppers. Okay, all right. So Kathy, let's see here. Invite, email. Okay, I just emailed Kathy a link. Let me get rid of my shared screen. So thanks for sticking around. I have 1:06 p.m. It's very early morning for Kathy in Australia. And let me answer a couple of questions, waiting for Kathy to pop up in the, they have like a name for this. It's like a green room or something. You know, like in show business, there's a green room where you're kind of the performer off in the like side room getting ready to go, and then they put you on the main stage. So there's this green room, and I'll just keep an eye on to see if Kathy shows up in the green room. And then I just mainly want to deal with not only video but audio to see if I can get a functioning dialogue on this thing. It's kind of like Zoom, yes, but I hated Zoom. I tried to avoid those Zoom meetings as much as I could. Favorite comedian, Norm Macdonald. Rest in peace. My audio on my computer is cranked. On my desktop, I still don't know how to change my audio.
Kathy joined.
Kathy joined, an automated voice. Okay, so Kathy is showing up in the green room. Okay, I'm going to try something else, Kathy, real quick. Show the chat. And I think I have a private, Kathy, I'm going to try this. I'm sending Kathy a private chat while I'm live with you guys. Are you ready? And I'm curious if Kathy can you see that somewhere, Kathy? And can you type a response? This is so cool. So to let you all know what's going on, I have a little separate window in Melon that allows me to basically text back and forth with this guest who's in the green room. I can see a little thumbnail of Kathy, but I don't see a reply from her. Maybe it takes a while to get across the Pacific. Maybe I should just, so Kathy's waving frantically like she can hear me and everything, but she doesn't see the, let's just involve you. Okay, Kathy, you're coming on. Okay.
Hi.
All right. I can hear you. I can see you. Can you hear me and see me?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Okay, good. Excellent. There's a bit of a buzz with your microphone, but I don't think we'll worry about it too much. And your volume.
You're hearing me better than the other way.
Yes, totally. Now, tell us a quick story so I can see if I can change your volume as you're talking.
Okay. Well, You remember I was telling you about this big football match that was on the other week that you thought might get cancelled due to COVID?
Yes.
Well, it went ahead, and it was awesome, and it was history making. It was amazing.
And you were there?
I was there.
Oh my God.
39,000 streaming fans. The match went down to the wire. It was just the best.
Oh, that's cool. That's cool. So was that the end of the season, or is there still more to go with that team?
No, that's basically your Super Bowl.
Okay. Well, that was it, man.
Season now.
Oh, good, good, good. Did you
So
get on?
just the last 8 hours of cricket.
What time is it there now?
Just after 6 a.m. It's 7. This is, I'll give you an example of the time zone in Australia today, like say.
Okay, okay.
So
Yeah.
Queensland doesn't have daylight saving.
Okay.
But New South Wales, the ACT, Victoria, Tasmania, South Australia do. So instead of 3 different time zones, we have 7. So Queensland doesn't have the same time zone as New South Wales.
Okay.
Now behind.
Okay.
Northern Territory is half an hour behind Queensland, but an hour and a half behind
Oh my
New
God.
South Wales.
This is impossible. There's no way to make everybody happy anyway, but now you're throwing this crap. Somebody's a half an hour behind somebody else? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, well, normally South Australia and Northern Territory are half an hour. It's where the capital cities are.
Wow.
So they do the time zones while the capital cities are. That's why Perth is only 2 hours behind.
Okay.
But it's 3 hours behind the other regions of that.
Amazing. Okay, well that's great. Now I'm getting greedy. So you got another couple minutes to be with us, Kathy?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Can I get somebody else to join us? Can I keep Kathy on? Oh, actually, you know what?
You might be able to put it in the live, put the link in the live chat.
Put
In
the
the
link.
live chat.
Okay.
And anyone can join. You'll probably get 100 requests then.
Okay, how do I? Okay, there's the live chat. Oh, I can write a message. Thank you. Okay, so sure, why not? Copy the link. It's where the old guy talks to himself. Copy the link. Okay, if you can see my, oh, it is. It's right there. So I just put it.
Another thing I emailed you with is that the fans are saying that they can hear me coming from your computer speakers.
Okay, is that why you're garbled for me too?
Yeah.
I'm supposed to
Yeah,
turn
maybe
off my
turn the echo cancellation
turn off
on.
turn it on.
Yeah,
Okay, echo cancellation is on.
San Jose, California.
and you shouldn't be getting any echo now.
It's still garbled, but I see Deborah's now in the green room. We'll get to you. Thank you. Hi, Deborah. Hang on just a sec. But if I mute my output speakers, I'm not going to be able to hear you.
Kent Howard joined.
Oh, Kent is coming on.
Yuki Gatlin joined.
This is going to suck if everybody's sounding like, no offense, sounding like you. Like if everybody's distorted. Well, we'll try it. Deborah, you want to come on? Hey. So, how are you today, Deborah?
I'm very well, thank you.
Okay, you sound good to me. Now, where are you? You're in San Jose.
I'm in San Jose.
Aldrich joined.
Okay, now why do you sound clear to me, but I'm hearing my voice now. Is that coming out of your?
It's coming, I'm getting 4 loops.
Oh boy. How do I do this? Oh, Kathy, did you mute yourself or did I? Oh, if I. Oh boy.
Hi, Yuki.
Let's get everybody on. Let's just blow the thing up. Here's Kent. Here's Yuki. Here's Les. Here's Jonathan.
Hi. Hi.
Who? So how do we? Can we?
Albert joined. Sean joined.
Nice to see you, Deborah.
You know that you can actually work this out to full screen.
Oh, that's an idea.
Yeah.
Um,
Go to a broadcast.
Wow.
yeah. I'm sure there's a setting that I can do to remove all this reverb, right? There has to be.
Yeah, I thought it was the echo cancellation.
My echo cancellation is, oh. Is this better?
Better? Is it?
You know what a lot of live streamers do is they have headphones which they stick into their iPad so they
I
can
got
hear
it.
what you're saying, but you're not getting the sound coming out of the computer. You might need
My
headphones,
screen is red.
like Deborah.
Let me try to mute everybody for a second. Here's Gary. On. I'm going to mute everybody here. So now it's just you and me, Kathy. Right? Okay. And now I'm going to mute Kathy and I'm going to unmute Deborah and see if we're still okay.
Hello.
Hi, Deborah. How are you?
I'm wonderful. Love you, Nick. Thank you for everything you do.
Well, thank you. I love you
Alana
too.
joined.
So I'm hearing, so my voice is coming out of your computer. Is that right?
That is correct.
Okay. I'm going to say goodbye. I'm going to mute you, Deborah. Hi, Kent.
Hello, can you hear me?
I can hear you. There's a little bit of a delay with you, but I cannot hear my voice coming out of your computer. Is that true?
Well, I've got a sound system, but I'm hearing you, what
Okay.
you said about, I don't know, 60 seconds ago, where you're going to mute everybody. I just heard that come through. Again, so it's like this delayed echo.
Okay. All right. Well, I mean, this is all super helpful, but I don't. So I hear my voice coming out of Deborah's ear, but not yours. But maybe I don't hear it because we're on a delay with you, Kent, but not Deborah. Let me keep going here. So I'm going to mute you again, Kent. Let me keep going here. So Yuki.
Yes.
So I can hear my voice coming out of your computer. Where are you located?
I'm from Parkland, Washington.
Okay, great. So your voice sounds good to me, but again, there's more.
I hear you like echoes. I hear twice you from laptop.
Okay. Well, we got to get rid of that. I got to figure out what the hell I'm doing for sure. But we might solve it now, or we know that I'm a little slow. So, oh, and I've got Les unmuted, but so thank you, Yuki. Good to see you. I'm muting you. And Les, show Les on this. Oh, Les is black. Les, are you there? Good to see you. I'm muting you. Oh,
It's a Zentner opera.
Les. Yeah. All right. Good God. What a clown show this is.
I think we all need to be wearing headphones.
That's I can easily make that adjustment if that's the way to go. Jonathan, oh, there you are, Jonathan. Hi, how are you doing?
Good.
Good. Where are you?
Boston, Mass, basically.
Boston, Mass, basically. Great. Well, you're maybe winning the race at the moment as far as pretty clear audio and not interference. Are you hearing me simply without a bunch of other voices?
I hear you several times over. What you said before keeps coming through.
Okay. I'm going to raise everybody's blood pressure here, I think. Thank you, Jonathan. I'm cutting you off. Gary.
Hello, Nick. How are you?
Oh, good, man. Go. So you
Can
got
you hear me?
headphones. Yes. So
Yeah.
Kathy's maybe onto something. Are you hearing 3 versions of me, or is it okay?
I'd say 5x5. It's a little distorted, but I think that's the bandwidth. It's clear. There's no echo. And how are you hearing me? Good.
Perfect. Yes. Can you what's it sound like in your room without your headphones on? Or does it not matter because you're plugged in, right? You're not gonna. What does it hear?
I'm plugged in. Yes.
What does it sound like if you're unplugged? If you take your
Give that a
headphones
try.
out, yeah.
David Polak joined.
So this is me now, and
Sounds great. Very good.
oh, you sound good too. Well, wait a minute. Why?
I think it keeps picking up the wireless to go to the headphones, but both ways work very well.
Oh, we all got to move to Calgary then, I guess. You got the best system up there for some reason. So Gary,
good old.
I'm out in the sticks
Good old
outside of town,
Malcolm
so my
Toodles,
internet
LBS.
is not the best.
Okay. Good to see you again, Gary. So Gary visited here in Ellensburg, and I got a chance to visit with him. So I've only met one of you in person so far. Let me do a couple more. Thank you, Gary. I'm going to mute you now. We might get to something here. Here's David. Hi, David.
Hello. Can you hear me?
Oh, I can now. Okay, David's not fucking around. Look at this now. He's got the headphones on. He's got the. Is that a microphone?
Sorry,
yeah, that's
Patrick.
microphone.
So, do you have a solution for me, or are we just learning this together? Like, I don't have any headphones here, I guess. But is it a headphones thing? Do you think, David?
Well, generally, yeah, you want to minimize echoes. So everybody you want to bring on to the call needs to have a headphone and needs to talk to a reasonable microphone. Like usually, like the latest Macs are fine generally. Like latest computers are mostly fine, but the headphones are really crucial for the echo. Although I don't know, the thing I heard with Kathy that didn't actually sound like a microphone induced echo. It kind of sounded like a software issue. So I don't know what was wrong there. Can you hear me? Fine?
Shitty iPad.
It's possible, yeah.
No, wait a minute. Kathy, you were supposed to be muted, but you're not. Why? I've got you.
Yeah, I unmuted myself. We have control to unmute ourselves. And I just have to crash every party.
Because we unmuted.
Oh, boy. Well, I don't like this now. I'm not in total control anymore. You guys can unmute yourself. Now, this is going to, just kidding. David, where do you live?
Around. I'm currently in Eastern Europe, somewhere unspecified.
Fine, totally fine. Thank you. Okay, well, this is a great experiment. This is probably too much for people watching, but this is a start. And yes, you're right. I think I'm going to practice a little more without broadcasting, and because I think the potential to have at least some geologists joining, but maybe even some viewers on occasion, I don't know, might work. So if there's others waiting, Brixton is waiting. Hi, Brixton.
Hey.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Doing fine. Where are you viewing from today?
I'm in Portland, Oregon.
Hey, not that far away. Wonderful.
Yeah.
That's a nice backdrop you have there. And you
Thank
sound
you.
good. So do you have headphones? Yeah, you've got.
I have AirPods in.
Okay. So that makes sense to you that I'm going to have to ask guests to have something in their ears?
Yeah, I think that'll minimize the feedback and reverberation in the computer speakers. So
okay.
Yeah, if you're limiting, what's going in the audio, then
yeah.
it should help.
Okay, well, I got one more question then, because there can't be any room for any more faces, right? This is the Brady Bunch right here, dated reference, and we can't get any more people. What if one other person wanted to be on? Is there one more person out there?
I think it'll break it out.
Nick, I've run Zooms with over 50 people.
Yeah, so when I actually tried to join for the first time, it told me that you would need to upgrade the Melon application to a pro level. So first time it denied me access because too many people were trying to log in at once.
That I needed to upgrade to pro?
Yeah, it said that the presenter needs to upgrade to pro. So there is a limit to the Melon app in terms of like how many people can actually join at once. I don't know what the limit is, but it denied me the access for.
Still there? I'm sorry. I clicked and looked at my, oh Christ. Hang on, David. David, unmute. Sorry, David. I was going to my settings as you were saying that, and I killed the whole thing. I think I'm like a boss, personally. I think I'm like the pro, like the biggest level. So I'm curious why you got that message, because I don't think I can pay any more money to these guys. But you did get that message, huh? That the host is not pro level or something.
Yeah, maybe I mistyped the code or something. I don't know.
Okay. Yeah. Well, this is all great. I mean, it's painful to people watch this probably, but it's helpful for me and all this real time stuff. So I'll be interested also to watch the replay of this and hear the audio from each of you. Who was so let's just one more little go around before we quit. So Kathy, are you sounding the same as you did before? I'm going to unmute you. Are you sounding the same as you did before, Kathy?
How do you mean?
Same thing, whatever that is.
Oh, right. Oh, sounding. Yeah, sorry.
Yes.
I heard signing for some reason.
Is
it just shitty because I'm using an iPad and not
maybe
a MacBook?
So.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah,
so.
I didn't have time to go and grab the MacBook. My MacBook. You were sort of like, let's get you on. You know.
Yeah. And I'm going to try you. So Kathy's muted. I'm going to try Yuki again because there was all that distortion. We have it again, I think, from you. All that distortion. So you don't have headphones on, Yuki, and
Yes.
so we have this multiple rounds of me. But Deborah does.
Yes.
So we have this.
No. I think it's feedback like a Zoom.
Okay. Thank you. And Deborah, you've got the headphones on now, so has that solved your problem?
I'm getting everybody, but it's on a loop.
On a loop. Okay. I think my brain is full.
Yes.
Go ahead. Okay. Well, this is great. This is major progress. Now, thank you everybody for joining. The last thing I'm going to do is practice kicking you off of this thing. And there's literally a button that says kick. So Yuki, I'm going to kick you off. David, thank you. Appreciate it. I love you. Goodbye. Kick off. I'm kicking people off individually without saying goodbye. Very rude of me. Very rude. Unfeeling. Prima donna behavior. And Brixton, thanks for the memories. And Kathy, thank you. All right. The possibilities are endless. I check one more time to see if anybody's still there, and if you can still hear me. It looks like you can. And this is definitely the end of the broadcast. So I may have started a new live stream or something. So much to learn. Thank you, everybody. I love you, and we'll see you later this week. Look for a video announcing the details. End stream. Thank you. Goodbye.